loss. Now they're on to face the Lions at Lambeau on Monday night. Hall of Famer Michael Irvin thinks some of the offseason drama may have trickled into the locker room and is showing on the field. Reigning MVP is known for telling everyone to relax, and this week was no different. Take a listen.
Look, we've won a lot of games around here. We've lost a few, but you move on. You know, it doesn't matter if you play incredible and put up 50 or you get blown out. You move on to the next opponent. There shouldn't be some big drastic change and alteration the way that we do things, the way we practice, the way we prepare. If it's good enough to get you to this point, then it's good enough from this point forward. So I haven't changed any of the stuff that I've been doing. Obviously, you know, we got to play better. But if we're starting to freak out after 1 week, we're in big trouble.
Joined now by the co-host of The Herd, Joy Taylor. But Slick, has Aaron Rodgers' drama hurt the Packers locker room?
It has to, Marcellus and Joy. It has to, because it would be one thing if he was taking issue with the play calling. Then you're taking issue with the coaching. But if you are taking issue with the personnel, but you want a voice in the front office in terms of who is on the team, that means you're not happy with who's in the locker room. And if I'm in the locker room, I'm thinking, is he talking about me? Does he think I am not good enough to be here? And he now apparently has at least 1 foot out the door, doesn't want to be in Green Bay at all. So he's essentially saying, I'm not good enough to get the job done with him. And all of that is well and good when you're the MVP and you're playing like one. But when you play like he did in this last game, that changes the dynamic. And then when you kind of step back and you let everybody know, hey, this is how we need to do things, that patience and that confidence and that belief in a guy talking that way, like I got the answers for everybody, when you don't have the answers for your own game, that's going to stop me real short, especially if I get the feeling like you're saying that I'm not good enough to get the job done. You better make sure that you are good enough to get the job done. And Aaron Rodgers, for the first time in maybe a long time, demonstrated that he wasn't up to the job. And whether the offseason issues were a part of that or whatever it was, that changes the whole dynamic in terms of him being dissatisfied about with everything else that is around him.
I'm with you, Slick. It has to impact the locker room. It has to hurt the locker room. Got a question. Is Aaron's hair wet or dry? It's starting to look a little weird to me. I don't know. Anyway, all right. If you look at this situation in football, let's talk football. Let's talk the ultimate team sport. Let's talk about how complaining really has an impact on the ultimate team sport and anyone else out there who hasn't even played the game of football. When you complain, you got to realize what you're really doing. You're all of a sudden authorizing everyone else who is battling an imperfect world, because none of us have perfect lives, even Aaron Rodgers. But when you complain, all of a sudden you set the dominoes in motion for everyone else who is fighting that battle of imperfection, of going out there and trying to play a sport that's based on will and skill, to now start to look at themselves and say, what is wrong with my situation? What is wrong with what we're doing? Should I be listening to coach? Should I question that play call? Should I be looking at my very existence with a complaint as well? Because we are all in on this pact, like this silent pact that we are all pushing past some of the imperfections in our way. But when the leader sits there and says, you know what, guys? Man, this ain't right. Everyone else says, you know what? You're right. And then they start to have their own inner battles of what's right and wrong. I've been on teams before where someone gets in that position of leadership, and then they don't want to hold up to the responsibility of that position of leadership. And it trickles down. And then the lesser guy who's now going to start saying, man, look, man, our therapy line too long. Man, look, what y'all feeding us? Man, look. And you just start to hear it fester, and it materializes. It actually comes out in performance. So Aaron Rodgers, you dropped the baton, and none of your teammates, because they're not Aaron Rodgers, is going to pick it up because they don't want to be combative to you. So not to go too far on the couch with this, but damn it, Aaron Rodgers, as soon as you start complaining, them other dudes in their head quietly, silently started to look at their own self and started to complain as well.
Guys, relax.
Oh, God, I can't with Joy.
Oh, here we go.
RELAX, relax. We don't want to put too
Straight
much
out of the
on
Aaron Rodgers
wax
playbook.
before they go up against the Lions and smoke them. They're favored by 11.5, according to Fox Bet.
Yeah.
You feel like putting any money up on the feisty Lions this weekend, guys? Because I don't. I think they're going to be fine. Yes. Did some of this offseason drama affect week one? Sure.
Okay.
Is Aaron Rodgers, as the leader, fighting with the organization and posting last dance memes with Davante Adams, setting a tone for the season and for the locker room overall? Yes. Does that mean that they're not going to go out against the Lions this weekend and put up a great performance? I don't believe so. Now, if that happens, I will back off and deny I said any of this. But as of right now, I think the Packers are still a good team. But everything that happened in the offseason is why I didn't like Aaron Rodgers for MVP this year. I don't think that the Packers are going to have a Super Bowl-type season. Will they win their division? Yeah, because the division is terrible. But Aaron Rodgers and the front office beefing is, again, not Aaron Rodgers' fault. I maintain this from the very beginning. This is on the Packers. If you didn't want Aaron Rodgers to come into a season looking ahead to his next team, looking ahead to his future, why'd you draft Jordan Love? This is your fault. As always, I lay this at the feet of the Green Bay Packers. Know your personnel. He's been there 16 years. You probably know a little bit about him and about his energy and about his personality and how he was going to react to this. And have a plan, because you clearly made the aggressive effort to take his replacement, meaning he would no longer be your quarterback, meaning as a human being, leader or not, he's going to start talking about his own timeline and thinking about his future in the NFL because you made him in bringing in his replacement. So did it affect the locker room week one? Sure. I don't think that you can deny that. You only have so much energy in a day to distribute. And if you're putting energy towards beefing with the front office, which may be fair or not, depending on what your opinion is, I think it is, it's still energy going elsewhere. And that's going to affect other people around you. So yes, did it affect week one? Yeah. Are they going to smoke the Lions this weekend? I believe so.
So I'm not worried about them in terms of the Lions. Short term, I agree with you, Joy. I would expect that they're going to win that game. But I'm glad you brought up the last dance meme, because I've been thinking about the message that sent to the entire locker room as well. It's me and Davante Adams. We are Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. And we are going to try to deliver the last dance, which means we're going to win a championship going out the door. Well, not every time a championship team announces that it's going to come apart, or a championship caliber player says, I am leaving, does it work as a bonding event? Does it bring everybody together? Just as many instances where it brings people apart. LeBron James in Cleveland, and what that looked like ultimately when he made it clear that he was looking to go someplace else. More often than not, it can pull things apart. And it just depends on how that star plays and how the team goes. And getting off to a bad start, getting off to an embarrassing start, not just for the team collectively, but for that star player who is looking to go elsewhere, that suddenly becomes something that you have to overcome. It becomes one more challenge. And it wasn't as if we went into this season thinking that the Green Bay Packers were the favorite to win it all. They had some things to overcome already. So when you add this to the equation and what it creates in the locker room about, well, is this a last dance comparison, or is this kind of the thing where Cleveland, where LeBron ripped off his jersey as he's leaving the court in Boston and we're not getting anywhere close to a championship? There's some work to be done, and it's not just beating the Lions, it's how they play and how Aaron Rodgers plays in order to bring that locker room back together.
Yeah, it's wild. I got to push back on you, Joey, a little bit on this one, because nobody in the NFL should be less affected by them drafting your replacement than Aaron Rodgers his damn self. Because, as my grandma used to say, how you get here is how you going to get there. And guess what? How'd you get to Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers? You were drafted to replace a legend. And you sat there for 1, 2, 3 years, right? And I guess in that time, you held up a lot of resentment because now at the end of your time with the Green Bay Packers, you want to let it all out. All right, go ahead, do that. But you know what? You're going to be compared to the greats. So let's compare you to another great who had their replacement drafted behind them, Jimmy G. And